there now. I'm gonna flip over. I'm trying not to flip over. Oh, now I'm smoking. Something burning. Okay, I just want to flip. I'm trying to. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. That's too much for old lady heart. So this turbo on fire. Okay. Yep, I'm on fire now. Yep, now I'm on fire. I'm on smoking. I'm smoking. I'm sorry. It's smoking. It's smoking. It's smoking. Oh, it's smoking bad. Oh. Okay. Go away, smoke. I've just always been told where there's smoke, there's fire. Oh.
Hey guys, this is Angie and I'm doing trucking. As you see in the first part of the video, my turbo boost broke going down the hill. It burst. I mean, it just popped like pop. And then I put it was on the floor. It went down to the floor, which scared me because I thought my brakes were probably going to be gone too, but I couldn't because I checked my brakes. So I was able to safely stop off the medium. I wasn't on a curve. I wasn't on the shoulder. It was a off-shoulder place where there was gravel that I was able to safely park. And when I called management, they asked me to drive the vehicle. And I just said, didn't I just tell you I went all the way to the floor? Didn't I tell you I heard a big pop? He didn't care. He didn't want to pay for a tow truck. So any other big company, I understand they were a smaller company, any other big company said, pull it over, park it, secure it, put down your, put your triangles out and we'll be there, when we can get there. Don't drive it. They would have been panicking, making me stop the truck. That's the difference between working for a big company and working for a smaller company because they may have less funds to pay for tow trucks and stuff like that. But it was a wonderful company. It just wasn't for me. People have been there 5, 10 years, 15 years, a long time, and made a life, that was their life there, but it just wasn't the company for me. My first week, I was in the shop 3 days. And the third day, it really was there for no reason because all he did was cancel out the codes, didn't fix anything. And then my APU went out, so I was in the shop again, and when they fixed it, it just stayed on. I mean, stayed on. Every time I turned my truck off, it come right on. So I guess that was what he put on there. I don't know. It just drove me nuts though. And then they gave me a reefer. The reefer broke out the gate, and I told them that it wasn't working. So they had someone come put a battery in it, and it stayed on for a few minutes. Went to the gate, went out again, and then the guy at the gate got it back on. During my trip, I guess it went out again when I pulled over to check, to do my checks. Because when you have a reefer, it's not like a flatbed where you check every 3 hours for the straps, but you do have to get out and check your temperature and check to make sure you have fuel in your reefer. So when I got out to check, it was dead. So I called them and they sent me to a shop. I went to another shop, and then I went to that shop. It came on for a moment, and then it went dead again. She sent me to another shop. And the second shop, the first shop even said it was dead, no good. The second shop said, it's shot. Even if I get it back on, it needs to be replaced. So it's like she didn't believe me, but she said she followed protocol. I could see 2 places, but to send me to a third place to sit and hope they can fix it, that drove me nuts. I was like, oh, I got to get out of here. I got to leave this job. And they couldn't fix it then. So right after that, to keep the meat frozen, other trucks that came and plugged up to me to keep my meat frozen, until someone else took over the trailer. It was just too much, too much. Especially I never had that type of trailer before. It was a type that you plug in a wall. And I've never been trained on chassis and trailers that are put on chassis. And I should have been trained on that before you even give it to me. Because how am I going to do a pre-trip on something like that I never had before? So that was trying, and then right after that, the turbo boost, like you see on the video, burst, and it started smoking. I thought, when you hear me in the video gasping, I really was afraid for my life. I thought I was gonna catch on fire because I've seen so many trucks burn up on the side of the road. Okay, and now let me talk about my journey to where I'm at now in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Um, no, don't ask me what company that I'm at. Don't ask me what company I left because I'm not going to tell you guys. Um, but I am glad to be at the company that I am at. Things happen for a reason. When I left the other company, they might have used my money on my check or whatever, but they didn't rent me a car because I didn't see no way of me renting one from where I was at, and I appreciate that. So I was able to get home. But right in front of me was a 100-pound pile up. And so I was sitting out there from 6:30 p.m. to 2:35 a.m. in the snow. Thank goodness I had just put gas in there because I hate putting gas in vehicles, but I had just put gas in the little car, so I was okay. And I got some video on that. I'm gonna put that together, and you can watch my. I'll make a little 15-minute video about that, and you can watch that after this. But let me tell you about my trip. Okay, once I went through all of that and finally got back home, I'm starting my new job. I did my tests and all my videos and all of that. I was so happy to do them because they were very informative. Things I didn't even know. And so on my trip to Tulsa, Oklahoma, I thought about the slaves that had to go to Ghana and be in those dungeons. As in, some people call them castles. They weren't castles. They were nothing good. Nothing good about them. They were where slaves were kept and tortured. They have a documentary about that. I would just watch it on Bounce. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. I'm gonna try to get the name of the documentary and mention it, but this video isn't about that. So, but it just made me feel like I was on that trip. I decided to go ahead and take the trip on the Greyhound, and I should have drove. I found a car that was, kind of close to the bus fare, and I should have just drove. So when I got on the first bus, I was going to get on the first bus. The ticket was no longer any good. To upgrade a ticket for $20 more, I would have to go downtown. So the company did order me another Uber because I took a Uber there for $30, $31 just to get to that part, to catch the train, go to that train stop, and that bus stop. And then they paid for me to go downtown to upgrade my ticket, and they didn't charge me for the $20. So I thanked them for that. And no, I did not ask the company for the 20 because they didn't charge me for the 20. And so after I left at 11 o'clock on time for my trip to try to get to Tulsa, it was an okay ride. And they stopped in Bethany, Missouri. I went to the bathroom. He said 10 minutes. So I ran to the bathroom, used the bathroom, came out, and the bus was gone. My purse, my belongings, my suitcase, my phone, everything was gone. Okay? And I was like, okay. I better go to the bathroom as soon as the bus stops, run and get back on the bus, or don't go it out, go in the bus. So that shook me up. But people were so nice about it, let me use their cell phones to try to get help, but it was late at night. It was after 8 o'clock and everything was closed. It was Jefferson Bus Lines that left me. And he didn't come in and make an announcement that they were leaving, or he just left me there. So I had to pay for me a hotel room. The police came to try to help me out. He said that their funds were low, as in, they really didn't want to pay for me to stay at a hotel, which they could have, because I'm quite sure everybody else takes the free money and stay free at a hotel. So I ended up having to pay for my hotel room, which my company, and I lost the receipt, but I'm hoping that I can get a copy from the hotel, and maybe my company will replace those funds for me since I had to stay at a hotel. But it really wasn't their fault that I missed the bus. I shouldn't have got off the bus, to use the bathroom, but the bus driver shouldn't have left me. So I did ask for a refund for the company so they can get their money back. And then after that, I went to so the a truck driver. Okay, I'm gonna get this right. After I stayed at the hotel, I went back to the gas station that they left me at and tried to get a ticket printed out so I can catch the 8 o'clock bus that was coming at 8 o'clock. I left 11 a.m. I was gonna sit there and wait until 8 p.m. when the next bus came. And she was going to print me out a ticket, but she didn't have a way to do that because the machine wouldn't let them do it. So she said she would personally come down and put me on the bus herself. That way I wouldn't have to worry about it because she knows the company. And I look up and I see the name on the side of a truck of the company I'm going to. And I just saw that name like, wow. And I ran across the street, across 4 lanes of traffic. And as soon as I got up to the truck, he was like, "Hey, Angie." He said my whole name. And he was like, "Girl, get in the truck. I've been looking for you all morning." The company actually sent somebody out to look for me. I was like, wow. That was different. That was different. And I really appreciate them. And because I felt appreciated. I really did. And important. And so after they said, and he and I was driving, very nice young man, very nice family man. And so we were driving. I was like, I really want to get my luggage in my purse and my phone, everything, my birth certificate, my social security card, everything. I can't even start the job without those things. And so he took me by the bus station. They parked right in front of Greyhound in Kansas. And so when we parked there, I looked in the window. They were closed. They were closed until 4, and we got there at 1:38. So I looked in the window, I saw my bag. I saw my purse. And I was like, I can't leave. And he didn't want to leave me, but he had a load that he was already late for. And I know how it is to be late on the load, to try to get there to get them to unload you. So I was like, just go. And so I'll be okay. It's only 3 hours. I can sit out here for 3 hours. I'm not going to free. I had my snowsuit on. And I would just, everybody else, there was a lot of homeless people out there. I'm like, if they can survive out here, I can survive out here too. So I said, I'll just stay out here. And then the bus came. And then I did something bad. I ran behind the bus into the gate. Because I really didn't want the next shift to start and go through my purse. So I got inside, and the manager said, "Don't ever do that again." I'm like, I'm sorry. And so he went and got my purse and my luggage, everything. And then one of my other phones were missing. And I binged it on my other phone. I have 2 phones, so I binged it to find the phone finder. And it was in the building. And so he went back twice looking for my phone. Very nice gentleman at Kansas City, Kansas bus station. Thank you, sir. So he went back and he found it. It was sitting on someone's desk. So I had all my things. The only thing was missing was a bag of, what was those things called? Frito Twists. That's the only thing somebody stole from me. So you can have it. I got everything back. So I was appreciative. So the next bus was coming at 5. So I waited till 5. That bus was canceled. Didn't find out till 5 o'clock it was canceled. So they had another bus coming at 10, which was canceled. So then they said another bus will be at 5 in the morning. So imagine, I got there 1:35, guys. So 1:38, 1:35, something like that. I'm there till 5 a.m. on those hard benches. I didn't lay down and sleep on them. I leaned on my bag and tried to close my eyes, but it was awful. It was an awful experience, but I know I had to get to Tulsa, Oklahoma. I knew that this place was the place I needed to get to. I need to get to Oklahoma. And I must have had all the strength of the ancestors in me because I had to get here. And so after that, I went to the bus at 5 o'clock in the morning. We got on that bus. I was so happy that we were rolling. We rolled for about an hour or so. And he stopped. And he said, "We're taking y'all back to Kansas because they told me to turn around." And I think it was because of the ice or the snow that he couldn't drive through. I don't know. He didn't say why. He just said they told him to turn around. So I wasn't getting back on that bus. So I got off the bus, and 5 of us got off. And a young man, a preacher, 23 years old, he suggested that we get a rental. So we couldn't get a enterprise or anything like that in that area. And the young lady behind the counter suggested get a U-Haul. And that's what we did. I regret putting it in my name because it ended up costing me $430 some for one U-Haul. But you know, he had given $60, 68, and she gave 68, and I gave 68 because we figured it was the 190 something, you know, the $200, and so we just split it amongst each other. And he put gas in it first to get him where he had to go. Then she put her gas in. We each put like 30 in. She put 25. He put 30, and but she lived another 2.5 hours away, which would have been 5 hours for me to get back to Tulsa where I was going. But I could not leave that little girl stranded. She already told me that her sister had 3 small children. It was no way I was going to have her sister drive on that ice, you know, with 3 kids to take care of and take her life, you know, take a chance on her life trying to get her sister. No, wasn't going to have it. So I drove her the 2.5 hours home to her front door. And it was a lot of ice where she lived at. So I didn't want her sister even driving in that, even though I don't know her sister. But we have to help each other, you know. And so it was 2.5 hours back. I was so sleepy and tired to take a nap. I arrived back at the U-Haul place like at 2 something in the morning. And it was about 3 something because I didn't get to the hotel till 4:35. I got to this hotel at 4:35 in the morning. Okay. So mind you, I haven't had much sleep. Not much. Even on the bus, I didn't sleep that well. So I finally get to the hotel. And of course, I got the bill for the $400 and some the next day. So that was a big shocker. So I'm trying to work with them because the truck was empty when they gave it to him, but it got mixed up with the other truck that he was giving me at first that was smaller. Now that was full of gas, but the one he gave me didn't have any gas in it. So they charged me for the gas too. So hopefully I can get that knocked off the bill. And the rest I just have to bite the bullet because, like I said, there was no way that I was going to make that young lady's sister come and get her. So we all had a wonderful trip. It was a great experience, and I thank God for it. And we all arrived home safely. We all arrived home safely. So that's what counts. I arrived at this hotel. So now I'm waiting on my urine test, which I'm not worried about. I finished everything else. So we got one more class on Tuesday. And I've already picked out my truck. I do like my truck. At first I was fussing because I wanted a Freightliner. But I'm very happy with the truck that I got. It's got everything that I want on the inside. And this is a lease purchase. I am so happy to be here. I've gotten 2 big hugs from the person, the recruiter gave me a hug, and the lady that handles all the paperwork gave me a hug. You know, so I felt so welcomed at this company. The trainer even told me, the one that does all the tests, that I backed up better than any female driver that he's ever had come into the company. And that made me feel really good. And so far, even though I have to sit here for another day before I can start, I am happy. I mean, not one time did I cry. Not one time really did I even get angry. You know, except for seeing that big bill from U-Haul. That's about it. But other than that, this has been a great experience. I think that this is a company that I'm going to be at for a while because I am really and truly tired of changing companies. I really love driving the truck. I really love doing this job. And I think this place will be the place that I'll be for a while. Sometimes we can think that the place is for us. And if you're miserable, truck driving is a stressful job as it is. So if you go to a company and you're miserable the first 3 months, or you're miserable the first 30 days, that might not be the place for you to be. Then sometimes you can stiff it out. If you're making enough money, I don't think if you're making enough money, you'll be that miserable. But sometimes you can be making a lot of money and be so miserable you can't enjoy yourself. You don't want to work at a job that you're going to be sick, depressed, or miserable. So I don't think that this will be the case at this company. I really do appreciate the staff. I really appreciate the way they've treated me since I started. I appreciate the training that they're giving me here. So I'm very glad to be at this company. And it was like, what company? What company? Not gonna tell you, but I'm glad to be here. Once I'm here for a while and things work out, I may tell you about where I'm at. I may, if they decide to tell me to do a video about my experience here, I would do it in a minute. So far my experience is great. So you guys take care. Don't give up, but never ever settle for less. Our ancestors went through too much for us to settle for less, for us to be less. Okay? We are supposed to be great people. No matter what happens in our life, if we come up from it, we're supposed to come up from it stronger. And don't give up. Do not give up. If you feel like you want to give up, go find somebody that hasn't given up and talk to them. There's always somebody that can help you. And there's always somebody that can hurt you. If that person hurt you, just walk away. Walk away and find somebody else. Because we need each other. We need to be the village for each other. Okay, guys, just my story on how I got to Tulsa. And I never thought I'd be here this long in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Was such a tragedy, which was the Black Wall Street, where people decided that we should not make it. We should not have nice things. We should not have money. We should not even be alive. And they bombed our people. They shot them. They hung them. They killed the children. All because they were self-sufficient. And then people wonder why they not trying to make it? Why they not trying to have nothing? Why they living here and why they living there? They could do something now. A lot of people are still have that fear in their souls because we are soulful people. And sometimes that fear is so deep rooted. We feel it in our very being and we don't know how to get beyond that because we have the mindset of the slaves that died. We have the mindset of the people that died in that fire in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And we can't get it out of our mind because those were our ancestors and their souls are just in us suffering because they couldn't get out that fire. They couldn't get out that noose. They couldn't get out that beat them to death. They couldn't get out of it. And a lot of us have those ancestors in us dwelling. And they just can't get out of it. So you have to understand the suffering is more deeper than what you think it is. It's not just somebody's lazy. They scared. It's not that somebody don't know and they don't want to know. They scared. It's deep rooted in what you think. And so whoever my ancestors was, them was some fighting folks. Fighting. Because that's what I am, a fighter. I've given up because you have so many souls in you. So many souls fighting against what you want to do in life. Don't let them take your life. Keep persevering. And things will turn out right. And me, I believe in God. I believe there's something greater than I am that created me in all my greatness. Okay, guys, take care and live in your greatness.